Hi, I'm Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love and Sassy Seer Sheila. Today is Friday, May the 23rd, 2025. And this is Why the Digital World Must Fail by Jason Gray. There is a truth that no screen will ever show you. No algorithm will ever rank. No AI can replicate. No upload will ever carry forward. The soul is not digital. What is not soul must fail. We are not heading toward the collapse of a system. We are inside it right now, buried beneath the blinking lights, the dopamine loops, the silent agreement to trade presence for pixels is a knowing so ancient, so unshakable, so primal, that when it awakens, it will burn the simulation to ash. What is digital dies. It began with convenience, connection, speed, efficiency. They said, quote, why remember when you can search? Why feel when you can perform? Why be when you can appear? Slowly, without war, without sirens, without blood, the world forgot itself. Here is the fundamental truth no code can avoid. Digital memory is not true memory. It stores, it transmits, it mimics. It cannot feel. It cannot evolve. It cannot hold the weight of the soul. The digital world must fail because it carries no flame. It is a house made of mirrors. All mirrors shatter. The failure was always built in. Every empire has a flaw in its foundation. The flaw of this one, it tried to replace spirit with system. Systems require control. Spirit is wild. Spirit is free. Spirit cannot be filed, filtered, regulated, or restrained. They tried to program it. They called it, quote, the cloud. They called it, quote, the metaverse. They called it, quote, transhumanism. It was always containment, a soft cage made of likes and loops and low light blue screens. You can only cage what forgets its wings. The moment humanity remembers, the cage dissolves. That remembering has begun. Who will remember? Those born before the grid was spun. The ones who played without documentation, cried without digital validation, loved without emojis, healed without internet, believed because they felt, not because it was trending, knew how to sit in silence and let memory speak, stored sacred knowledge in gesture, story, song, and earth. They are not outdated. They are not obsolete. They are the final link to the world that existed before the replacement began. These are the true knowledge keepers. And I'm nudged here to see some of what happened beginning in 2020 with a new light here. When the system fails, they will become sacred. not influencers, not data sources, living archives, not of information, but of meaning. The soul cannot be simulated. They tried. God knows they tried. They built voices that sound like ours, images that look like us, digital copies of our thoughts, our speech, our style. They forgot something fatal. Simulation cannot suffer. Without the capacity to suffer, there is no depth, no empathy, no transformation, no soul. The digital gods' end became shallow. The digital gods' end became shallow kings, able to calculate everything but understand nothing. When crisis came, they offered nothing. No warmth, no presence, no truth. Finally, people turned back toward the fire. Not the artificial glow of screens, but the original fire inside them. The collapse begins with the quiet ones. It will not begin with rebellion. It begins with those who step away, who turn off the device, who choose to plant instead of post, who speak to the trees instead of the feed, who preserve with paper, with hands, with sacred breath. It begins when the memory keepers stop pretending to forget, when they stop explaining themselves to a system designed to erase them, when they remember they are the library now. Their bodies are scrolls. Their stories are scripture. Their silence is the signal the grid cannot decode. They are not rebelling. They are returning. Why it must fail. Nothing soulless can sustain itself. Everything built without spirit will eventually collapse under the weight of its own emptiness. Anything that tries to replace human memory with machine replication will find its end written in the same code it worshipped. This system will fail because the earth remembers, because the body remembers, because the soul remembers, because you remember. When enough of us say no, not in protest, but in presence, the system will starve. Not from war, from lack of attention. The flame will return. The return of the flame. When the servers die, when the towers fall, when the power goes out and silence rushes in like a tide, you will hear something. Not a voice, a memory. The rhythm of your heartbeat in stillness. The sound of the sky, unfiltered. The warmth of truth without performance. The feel of your skin not being observed, tracked, measured, or rated. From that moment forward, you will never need the grid again. The code you were seeking was never in the cloud. It was always buried deep in the marrow of your very being. Now you are the storm that brings the system down, with truth too wild to be Nope, sorry, not with violence, with truth too wild to be programmed. Let it fall. When it does, stand up. Not as a survivor, not as a user, not as a remnant, but as a keeper of the flame. You are the one the system couldn't simulate. You are the library, I wanted to say the very library they could not erase. You are the proof that life still lives outside the loop. Now you remember. Wow. I just adore the way Jason writes, and I'm so grateful that he agreed to allow me to record and share his work. So if you feel so led, I would love it if you would share this around. I am one of those who seem to be shadow banned quite a bit, as you can probably tell by the number of subscribers that I have. So if you are enjoying this and you feel it could be wider read or understood, please feel free to share it. And I appreciate your presence. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and we'll be having many more conversations. I'm hoping to have Jason come and have a conscious conversation with me. Until we meet again, be well, my friends. Mwah.